Conor McGregor has a knack for collecting problems. Whether it's drama outside the cage, very public arguments, or a growing list of controversies, trouble just seems to find him. And while most of the world is glued to the latest headline or scandal, a different, quieter kind of problem has been brewing in the background. This isn't about public opinion or another court date. It's about a contractual obligation. It's a problem that comes with a very specific and very steep price tag, $300,000. Thanks to a current UFC champion, a little-known but brutally simple rule has been brought into the spotlight. It's a rule that applies to the most elite fighters in the world, and it could have a direct impact on Conor McGregor. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how much money you have or how famous you are, the UFC is always in control. For every dollar he's earned and every headline he's made, there's a clause in a contract, tucked away in a file cabinet, that holds him accountable. And this particular clause is all about the one thing that built his legacy in the first place: the UFC championship belt. Imagine you're holding one of the most coveted prizes in all of sports. It's the symbol of a lifetime of blood, sweat, and sacrifice, all wrapped up in 12 pounds of leather and gold. Now imagine being told that if you ever misplace that symbol, if it gets lost or stolen in the chaos that comes with being a champion, you will personally be handed a bill for the price of a small house. This isn't some wild hypothetical. This is the reality for every single UFC champion. And for a man like Conor McGregor, who lives a life of extravagant excess, this obscure responsibility could add a massive, six-figure financial headache to his list of problems. The heart of this issue is a simple, yet severe, reality of being a UFC champion, something recently highlighted by the current interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. The situation is straightforward. If a champion loses or misplaces their belt, they are the one on the hook for it. And what's the reported replacement value of that belt? A staggering $300,000. This isn't a fine you can negotiate or a penalty you can appeal. It's a personal responsibility that comes with reaching the top of the mountain. It turns that iconic belt from a priceless trophy into a massive financial liability. It's a piece of hardware that champions have to guard just as fiercely as they guard their #1 spot in the division. The belt is, quite literally, collateral. It's the UFC's way of making sure its champions treat the symbol of their organization with the respect and security they feel it deserves. This isn't just a rumor floating around the gym. The person who brought this to light is a champion himself. Tom Aspinall, a fighter known for being refreshingly honest, talked about this very responsibility in an interview. He put it in plain English, stating that if his interim title belt goes missing, I'm paying for it. He added, "It's in a very safe spot, so it won't go missing." Aspinall's comment peels back the curtain on the business side of fighting that fans rarely see. We see the glory, the knockout bonuses, and the roaring crowds. What we don't see is fighters navigating a world of immense pressure, both inside and outside the octagon. This is a perfect example of that hidden pressure. It's not just about defending the title. It's about physically protecting the multi-$100,000 asset that represents it. For Aspinall, keeping the belt in a very safe spot isn't just about pride. It's about avoiding a financial disaster. So why does this suddenly matter so much? The answer, as it often does in the fight game, is Conor McGregor. McGregor is the most famous champion the sport has ever seen. He was the original champ, a man who held two of these incredibly valuable belts at the same time. We've all seen the pictures of him draped in gold, a belt on each shoulder, soaking in the glory of his historic run. Those belts are a core part of his identity. But we've also seen the other side of Conor McGregor, the side that lives a life of wild excess and at times public chaos. His life is a whirlwind of private jets, superyachts, and non-stop travel. He's always on the move, surrounded by a large crew, living a lifestyle that is anything but predictable. In that kind of environment, the risk of something as valuable as a championship belt getting lost, damaged, or stolen is very real. While most champs might keep their belt locked away, McGregor has always been one to put his success on full display. When you think about his history of public controversies and a lifestyle that constantly puts him in the spotlight, this belt issue becomes much more potent. McGregor is a man who operates under constant pressure. The last thing he would ever need is another six-figure liability hanging over his head, tied to the very symbols of the success that made him a global superstar. It's a side of the sport we rarely get to see, the cold, hard business that exists behind the spectacle. If you find these inside stories about how MMA really works fascinating, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're always digging for the details that go beyond what happens in the octagon. To really get the weight of this $300,000 problem, you have to understand what makes these belts so valuable and how this all fits into the UFC's relationship with its fighters. First, the belt itself. This isn't some cheap replica you can buy online, though the UFC does sell those for around $1,000. A real, modern UFC championship belt is a piece of custom art. While it's not 2 pounds of solid gold, its estimated value is reported to be around $300,000 due to its intricate craftsmanship, gold plating, and leatherwork by specialist belt makers like Joe Petrali or Brad Flaherty. But the value doesn't stop there. Under the UFC's current policy, a champion gets to keep their belt after their first title defense. For each successful defense after that, a new ruby is added to the belt's side plates. This means the longer a champion rules, the more unique and valuable their belt becomes. It's a physical timeline of their dominance, with each stone representing another defeated opponent. This policy boosts the prestige and the material worth, making the potential loss even greater for a long-reigning champ. This responsibility is more than just an insurance policy for the UFC. It's a powerful symbol of control in a world where the promotion holds most of the cards. It exists alongside other restrictive contract terms, like the Champions Clause, which allows the UFC to automatically extend a fighter's contract when they become champion, preventing them from testing free agency while at their peak. The belt rule fits perfectly into this dynamic. It's another layer in the constant push and pull between the fighters and the organization. It essentially tells the athletes that even the symbol of their greatest achievement is still, in a way, the property of the promotion. It's a heavy, golden reminder of who's in charge. For a fighter like McGregor, who built his entire brand on being a rebel, it's a particularly ironic check on his power. He might be the face of the company, but he's still playing by its very expensive rules. So, as Conor McGregor navigates his career, this $300,000 issue is a stark reminder of the unique pressures that come with reaching the top of the UFC. Tom Aspinall's casual confirmation gave us a rare peek into the contractual realities that underpin the glamour of being a champion. It's about more than just a potential financial hit. It represents the huge, often invisible weight of responsibility that comes with holding that belt. It's not just a trophy to show off. It's a massive financial asset that has to be protected. For a personality as large and chaotic as Conor McGregor, it's one more risk in a life that's already full of them. It just goes to show that in the high-stakes world of the UFC, the fight for your legacy and your fortune continues long after the final bell. What do you think about this? Is it a fair way for the UFC to protect its brand, or is it another example of the promotion's tight control over its athletes? Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the stories behind the fights, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.